informative and contains my opinion and understanding of the subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi guys, welcome in everyone. Hello. So I had my new laptop set up. Hold on, I have to fix this, but I'm still here talking. So I got my laptop in that everyone here helped me get. So for that, I am so grateful. It's so exciting. Anyway, I'm such a nerd. But I wanted to thank everyone. I am so happy. And the thing is, the reason it took me so long to come on is because I've been trying to get it all set up so that I could like come and do this and all. However, I've not been so lucky. So I had to set all this stuff up. It's still updating. You guys are never going to believe what I was doing. I 100% was plugging in the wrong plug, like in the wrong spot. Stop. I 100% have a doctorate degree and was plugging it into the headphone slot. And I'm like, why does it keep dying? I'm like, of course I get one that's like dead, da 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 da. And then I was like, oh my God, someone's not the sharpest knife in the sky. And that's a joke. I did that on purpose. Anybody that's been here before knows that was a joke one time too. I accidentally said that at one point, but it's when I'm tired, I guess. But anyway, I couldn't not come on. I'm trying to find, I sent over I did like a thing. Oh, there goes Thor. Say hi to Thor, everyone. Thor always has to make sure that he enters the chat. I have no idea where oh, here it goes. I was going to say, because I want to see what I did with it, because I could have sworn. I know I did. Hold on, let me email it to myself. And then that way I can show everyone. I was so excited. I wanted to go live and take like 2 seconds to unwrap it with everyone because I figured you guys were so nice to donate to me so that I can have such a thing. So I did a little, like, it's like 2 minutes. It's not long. But Drunk Turkey was on and I felt bad going on at that time. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just do a quick video. I said, and then I will... then I can send it to, what the heck? It's saying it's too big for what? I'm trying to email it. What the heck? The files you are trying to share exceed the attachment limit. What the hell did I tape it in? Anyway, maybe I'll find that for tomorrow or something, and I'll just upload it as a video. How about that? In CapCut after we're done, I'll upload it as a video. If you are not subscribed, please do me a favor and subscribe. I am only 75 away from my next goal of 4,000, you guys. So I'm only 75 away, and I would be so excited if you guys could help me by liking, subscribing, sharing, all the things that we do here. I appreciate you guys more than you could ever know. So much so that I said on my video, I'm like, oh, I got my box today. Da-da. When I was done, my husband was like, no, you didn't get it today. He's like, you put it out today. He's like, I got it almost like 5 days ago. And he's right. But I'm so good at I have such control that I was able to hold on to it and not use it or open it until I unboxed it. So I did take a video. I don't know why it's not coming up. I definitely sent it to my drive, but it's like, psych, it doesn't want to come up. I don't know. Here, wait, let me try one more time while we're in here. So everyone tell me as you're coming in, where are you coming in from? I've had a lot of new people in here. It actually says that 92% of the people that watch are not subscribed. So tell me, where are you from? And know that subscribing is a free way of helping small creators like me get seen by a broader audience. So I can't do this without you guys. And know that I am so appreciative of each and every one of you. So tonight, while I'm trying to email this to myself, so let's see. All right, I'm in the right account. Let me see my folder. I'm just going to make sure. I'm going to do it on I'll do it on Classroom because I could see that here. save here. So now let me see, it's uploading. I'm just going to try that one more time. I don't know if maybe I saved it in something different, but anyway, hopefully I'll get to show you that 2-minute video. If not, like I said, I'll just upload it as a video. But today, I don't have anything like, huge, but I wanted to make sure I came on here. And I do have like updates on certain things, and I wanted to share some of it with you guys. The biggest update I have is on the Anna Kepner case, because today is just, that was the other reason I'm like, I have to go live real quick. Today is 11/5, which I don't know if any of you remember, but when we went over the court documents, 11/5 is the date of the court hearing that they had for custody and things like that. And when I looked up the update for it, I was like reading some of it, and I'm like, oh my God, I definitely have to like go live with this. So I pulled that up in the background, so I'll read that off to you. So let me just start that, and I can finish this part later. Oh, I was like, were they not able to hear me? I didn't realize I'm up in the corner. Oh my God, dent. That's me. What are these sounds? We have a drum roll. You guys, I get so excited over the littlest things. So welcome in, everyone. We're going to go over some of the new documents that Anna Kepner. Oh, look, now I'm too little. There we go. It's a little bit better. I'm a little bit small here. Now I'm too big. I have to go back and figure all this out, you guys. Now I'm in the middle like I usually am. But anyway, I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to start. I'm going to share my screen. So the first thing that I'll start with, so why we have people coming in, let me start with this. So I am on, and I say this all the time, but I'm on Plunder True Crimes Patreon. So when she gets documents and like, when she gets police cam videos and things like that, she puts them up there. And because I'm on that bigger tier or whatever, I get access to all of them as well. So when I always go in there to check to see if she has anything new. And today I saw something and I'm like, why don't I know about this case? So I don't know if you guys know about this case. So please tell me in the comments if you know about this case, because I did not, and I'm surprised I did not. So let me show you real quick, and we'll start with this one. That way, as people are coming in for the Anna Kepner case, I can show you guys these info. All right, here we go. Oh, I know what's going on. Hold on one second, you guys. I have to turn off my Wi-Fi. So I had my Ethernet cable on, and I don't know why, but for some reason I must have turned it off. So then what do we have over here? Hi, Cuff You. Hi, C Legal. Hi, Bab. Shelly Malone's here. Look at all the people. Birdie, Steelers fan. Hi, girl. Thank you for supporting. Oh, yes, Thor always has to make his debut. Rachel's here. Just Me's here. You guys, I feel so excited. You have no idea. Mare and Bella are here. Shelly's here. Brenda. Oh my God. Look at all the people. Thank you, you guys. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. So, okay, so real quick, let me tell you what I'm talking about here. So Peyton, what's the name? Okay, so this is Peyton Shires. And I briefly remember somebody telling me something about her, like this name, but I'm like, I don't think I ever looked into it. Well, I know I never looked into it, or I would have remembered this, trust me. So I look on it. So before I get to Plunder's police cam that she just got today, so this says Peyton Shires, 27, who pleaded guilty to having a sexual relationship with a 13-year-old male client while she was a youth counselor, is sentenced to 4 years and 9 months in prison. What? That's it? So she'll be 31 when she gets out? He's going to be 17. This is like so maddening. I can't even tell you. So Franklin County Common Pleas Court Judge Mark Surratt sentenced Peyton Shires, 27, of Madison County on Thursday morning, saying Shires would have an option to be released early from prison after serving 18 months of her sentence. What? I believe, if I'm not wrong, oh my God, you guys, I think she got sentenced in like June of 2024. I don't know why I think that. I have a really good memory and I feel like I guess we might see it. Oh my God, what? That would mean she'd almost be out. She pleaded guilty in May to multiple counts of unlawful sexual conduct with a minor, as well as intimidation of a victim or witness and inducing panic. She faced a maximum possible sentence of more than 20 years in prison. She had worked as a counselor with the National Youth Advocate Program when she met the 13-year-old male victim. Okay. So the NYAP fired Shires after her arrest. You would hope so, right? As part of her sentence, she will be required to register as an S offender every 6 months for 25 years after her release from prison. It should be longer than that. That means if she's 27 and she has to do that for 25 years, what are we looking at, 52? In late September, the 13-year-old's mother found text messages on his phone from Shires that led the mother to believe that inappropriate interactions were taking place between Shires and her son. The mother reported the message to Columbus police. A forensic evaluation of the boy's cell phone revealed additional text messages and a video of Shires and the boy engaging in sexual conduct, according to court records. What? I am like appalled. As part of the investigation, the victim's mother placed a controlled and recorded three-way phone call with Shires, who admitted to the conduct. Police arrested her in October, and she posted a $500,000 bond. While out on bond, she went to the boy's home with a gun, violating several conditions. What? Shires told the victim's mother that the woman had ruined her life by reporting her to police and threatened the woman and then herself. What? I did not know any of this. On Thursday, a statement from the 13-year-old's mother was read. The statement said that the woman had lost trust with the system because of Shires' actions and said that the case had a devastating impact. And this is her. Oh, your life was ruined? Poor thing. I can't. Instead, he was manipulated, groomed, and sexually abused by Miss Shires. The woman's statement said, "I regret ever letting you in my house." Okay. You guys, being someone in the field, and I think that's why I'm having such a visceral reaction, I was a professor by the time I was 25. So a lot of my students at that time, I had students anywhere from 17 to like 36. So I will never forget this one semester. I had the coolest students, and about 90% of them were over 21, but like not older. They were in their 20s, and they would ask me all the time. They would be like, "We're hanging out afterwards, da, da, da. Like, you should come." And I was like, "No, definitely not. I can't do that." Like, and I have never crossed a boundary ever. I will say that semester was the hardest of the semesters, as far as, these people are my age, da 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 da. And I'm talking about after the semester at that point, like, because I always say, like, during the semester, absolutely not. Not that I wouldn't after the semester, but I mean, as far as like, if someone wants to meet up with me at the cafeteria or something, which I probably would do anyway. But anyway, my point is, I said no, I would never go to a bar with my students. It's so inappropriate. And I hope everyone that's listening knows how inappropriate it is. So even though I was only 25 and some of my students were 28, 29 years old, it was so inappropriate. So I hope people see that even though I was younger at the time, I still held a position of power. And that is like, this is like so egregious, especially when people are under the age of 25, your brain's not done developing. And the other thing is, in this case, the reason I also was like floored by this case, and there's more than one reason. So another reason would be because I think that too many times people think that when it's a younger boy and a female teacher, that it's somehow okay and it's not as bad as the other way around, and that is so wrong. The male brain reacts the exact same way. So it leaves you with the same vulnerabilities to like early sex, to drug and alcohol abuse, promiscuity, even. There's just so many things that it leads to. And it's never usually a good thing, right? So, like, never. So, it also changes the structure of the brain. And when the structure of the brain changes, so does its function. So, this is like literally leaving trauma on the child's brain. But for some people, so let me tell you why I'm also getting like this. So, as a teacher or as a professor, I have students, some of my students all come in from the high school. It's not many, but a few of them that are like in AP classes, they'll bring them in. Usually I would go to the high school and teach the AP class, but sometimes they'll come to my classroom. Long story short, we did an entire thing on this. We were talking about like the effects that this has on, youngsters, and even for boys. When people, I don't know why people don't think, I don't know. I think it's like I guess a cultural type thing. I don't know. But to me, I'm like, what? So long story short, I told everyone I'm a mandated reporter. I always let people know I'm a mandated reporter. And with that said, I still had a student that told me that her friend was in a relationship with his teacher. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, what do you mean? And this is the thing, because there is a gray line. Like if her friend was also in college, like I didn't know that she was in high school. You don't really, I mean, I knew that whatever, but I didn't remember. I have so many students. So to me, I'm just like, oh, it's another like adult. But then as we're talking, I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. He's in high school? I was like, what? So I'm like, oh, wait. I'm like, and this is his high school teacher? And yeah. I said, well, I am a mandated reporter. I said, so hi, Tisa. I said, so I need to like say something. I was like, you know what? I was like, how about this? After class, come talk to me. We'll figure it out. Da, 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 da. After class, she comes to me, you guys, right? So we're talking and I'm like, look, I was like, I know that sometimes students will say my friend, and it's really them, right? I was like, so please like let me know. I was like, because I want to make sure that your friend gets the resources that they deserve for this. Like, that's just terrible. And especially because I'm a teacher, I'm like, this is terrible. So I find out that it's her brother. Okay. So I'm like, wait, what? So now I'm like, so I'm assuming your parents don't know. Nope. Okay. So now she starts trusting me more and telling me, and she knows that I have to tell. And part of me feels like she came to me knowing that I had to tell, right? Because everybody knew I was a mandated reporter. So I feel like maybe she came to me because she knew that like maybe it would help stop it. And the thing was, it was in a Catholic high school. And I have to be honest with you guys, for the first like 6 or 7 months, all they did was take the teacher out of the room. So like nothing happened. They just like separated the teacher and the kid. So I was like, ooh, like I had to call S crimes and stuff, and child S crimes in the state. And I find out it's her brother. Well, there was so many similarities with this story too. So a lot of times, you guys, parents will let the teachers in thinking like, even me growing up, my mom, it was not unheard of for priests to come over and have Sunday dinner with us. Like that was not unheard of. At dinner, we would like be setting up for dinner and we would be like, how many? 7? Oh, is father coming? Yeah. Okay. No big deal. Nobody thought anything of it. However, then we get older and we're in high school and we find out that a few of my really close male friends were being abused by the priests that were running our high school. And the statute of limitations winds up running out at some point. It's a whole story, but the one priest that like did all this damage wound up embezzling like $1 million from our high school. So he winds up getting arrested for that, gets tried and goes to jail for that. And the friend that he destroyed in the meantime winds up overdosing and ending his life because he just couldn't take it anymore. So the priest winds up eventually admitting it, but the statute of limitations are over. So there was nothing that could be held for that. But I mean, this ruined my friend. Do you know what I mean? So it really does. It changes the brain. With this Peyton, this is horrible, you guys. This is horrible. So here, Shire's attorney, Greg Slemmer, said that Shires has a 4-year-old son. So she has a 4-year-old son. So you would think that this woman would think in 9 years, if my son's teacher had a relationship with him, how would I feel? Like, what? So she has a 4-year-old son with whom she had been able to see and has suffered from serious mental health issues for years, which she had never fully gotten the help she needed. I don't care. Do you know how many people are on here right now that have also had serious mental health issues, including myself, that went, mine went undiagnosed for years. So it's like you can say there that it went, I never did nothing like that. It has always been her intent to help this individual. What? And the lines got blurred. You guys, that is such a crock of shit. I don't even know what to tell you. What do you mean the lines got blurred? How did the lines get blurred? He's 13 years old. I am so mad. I don't think I've ever gotten into a case and have been like angry. Like this makes me angry. So she provided a statement of her own to Sariat saying she was glad that the mother called the police the night she went to the victim's home. What? She saved my life, Shire said, adding that she felt horrible for the pain she caused. I was not thinking rationally. Oh, you got that right. Sarah said she believed Shires had genuine remorse. However, she had violated a position of trust. He was a child. He was trying to get the help he needed. Sarah also expressed disappointment at Shire's assertion during a pre-sentence investigation that the victim was trying to coerce or blackmail her into engaging into additional sexual conduct. What? What? This woman tried to blame the victim by saying he coerced and blackmailed her? What? And then the judge says, you're an adult. You're trained professionally to avoid situations like this. Amen, judge. That is so right. We are trained, you know what I mean, to avoid situations like this. How dare that woman? Oh my gosh. I am flabbergasted right now. Okay, so yeah, like I can't. Let's see what we have over here. Who's coming in? Hi, you guys. Welcome. This is insane. This is so horrific. It stays with you for life, even with counseling. Yes, Linda, right? Because it changes the brain. That's not helping. He was 13. Exactly. Robin Polston was 43-year-old mom and hairdresser from Washington, Illinois. Police said that same mom is now behind bars after allegedly giving birth to her daughter's 14-year-old boyfriend's baby. Stop. What is wrong with people? And I think it's so easy for us to look at pedos and stuff and da-da-da-da. And it's so easy to forget that there's women that are too, right? And it's just as bad. If not, sometimes I feel like even worse, I guess, because, Mary Kay, oh my God, I think she passed away. I think that woman passed away. And I believe her and her boyfriend or whatever got married. They had more kids, and I believe they stayed together until the very end. Oh, I can't. So let me show you what I saw. So then I see this. All right, this is a consent. Hold on, let me make it bigger for you guys. This is consent agreement between Peyton Shires and the state of Ohio Counselor, Social Worker, Marriage and Family Therapist Board. So many of you know I have my bachelor's and my master's in human behavior and I have my bachelor's and master's of science in counseling, psychology, and human behavior. I have a specialization in marriage and family therapy, and then I have a doctorate degree in education. And I did my dissertation. I merged higher education and psychology, and I did my dissertation on the effects of media messages, specifically social media, on the developing identities of 18 to 24-year-old 4-year-old's identity. I think I already said that part. But anyway, so the fact that this is like I saw Marriage and Family Therapist Board and I was like, ugh. Anyway, this consent agreement is entered into by and between Peyton Shires, hereinafter Shires and the State of Ohio Counselor, Board, hereinafter Board, the state agency charged with enforcing the chapter of Ohio Revised of the rules. So it says Shires hereby acknowledges that she has read and understood this consent agreement and has voluntarily entered into it without threat or promise by the board or any of its members, employees, or agents. Shires is fully aware of her rights, including her right to be advised by counsel and her right to a hearing pursuant to Chapter 119 of Ohio Revised Code on the subject consent agreement. This consent agreement contains the entire agreement between the parties because she did a plea agreement, you guys, which is why she's only getting she could get out after 18 months. And when it said that this was done in May, I believe it was May of 2024, which means that it's about 18 months. So it says this consent agreement is entered into the basis of the following stipulations. Shires is a social worker licensed to practice as a social worker in the state of Ohio and is subject to the laws and rules of Ohio regulating the practice of social work as outlined in Ohio Revised Code. The board received information that Shires entered into an estual relationship with a minor client in the summer of 2023. On May 28, 2024, in Franklin County Court of Common Pleas, she pleads guilty to 4 counts of unlawful sexual conduct with a minor, 2 counts of intimidation of a victim or witness, and 1 count of inducing panic. Okay. And it says that they violate these specific codes. She admits the allegation referenced in paragraph 2, wherefore, in consideration of the foregoing and mutual promises hereinafter set forth and in lieu of any other formal discrepancy proceedings, Shires knowingly and voluntarily agrees with the board to the following terms and conditions. The board will allow Shires to surrender her social work license in lieu of other potentially disciplinary actions. This surrender is permanent and precludes Shires from applying for any license under this board's jurisdiction in the state of Ohio in the future. So why am I reading this to you guys? Because what it doesn't say is that she can't get a license in another state. Nor does it say that she can't get a license in Ohio under a different board. I am almost at a loss for words. Almost. It's hereby agreed by and between both parties that this consent agreement settles all issues concerning the matter. By her signature on the consent agreement, Shires acknowledges that in the event the board in this discretion does not approve this consent agreement, this settlement offer is withdrawn and shall be of no evidentiary value and shall not be relied upon or introduced in any disciplinary action or appeal by either party. Shire agrees that should the board reject this consent agreement, and if the case proceeds to hearing, she will assert no claim that the board was prejudiced by its review and discussion of the consent agreement. So did they sign it? It says that she hereby releases the members of the board, its officers and employees jointly and severely, that word's all messed up over there in the writing. Is that supposed to say severely? From any and all liability arising from the matter within. This consent agreement, So this was entered on July 2024. And it was, you guys, they accepted it. Wow. This consent agreement shall take effect upon the date of the board executive director's signature below. So it takes effect 7/18/24. Wow, it only took 6 days to get them. What? I can't believe that. So she just can't be a director, executive director, counselor, social worker, or a marriage and family therapist in Ohio. So she could be out right now. She could have moved a state over. She could be in Pennsylvania right now practicing. What? Like, I am disgusted by this. I really am. I think that this is terrible. I do. Does anybody else think that this is as bad as I do, or am I just like, I don't know if it's just me, like if I'm just having like this visceral reaction, but oh, I love you, Coffee. I'm so glad you're passionate about this subject. Oh, I am Coffee. I am passionate. Big time. Thank you so much, Coffee. You have no idea. So Cuff You, when you see, and I'm going to post it later. I was going to show it here, but not everybody's into it. So it's more for our members. So I'll post it, but I'm going to post a video that, yes, Tisa, that of me opening my new laptop thingy, but you're going to laugh because I then show you guys where all the magic happens. And I literally do my entire live from a folding table. No, not even a folding table. Yeah, what's a tray table? That's what I meant to say. I do my entire lives from a tray table, not a folding table, a tray table. So that $5 is going towards something for me to use that's not a tray table so that I could fit more than my little thingy over here. And yay, I'm so excited too. I can't wait to set it up and do the live so you guys could see me for real. I feel like it's terrible in my opinion. Are background checks done so they can't just move states? I hope so. So Rachel, let me tell you, I'm actually glad you said that, Rachel, because this is the thing. This is the thing. It depends, right? If she tries, I'm so glad you asked this question. I work at colleges and universities, and some of them are owned by the state. I have to get fingerprinted and do a criminal background check and a child abuse check in each state every 5 years because I work in multiple states. I just did one. I just had to renew mine for Pennsylvania. It came in and I was like, look, you guys, I'm not a child abuser. I'm like, nor do I have a criminal background. My husband was like, oh, that's something to be so proud of. But anyway, so you're right. That would stop you there because now this is the thing I will tell you. I did an entire semester. I only had like 4 weeks left when my results came in. So my thing there is, what if I was like, would that have stopped it? You know what I mean? Could I have already done some damage? I mean, thank God they trusted that. I mean, I also had references. So I guess, I don't know. But anyway, I did my references, my checks, and now I'm good. But you're right. Depending on the actual job might require that. Now, I work for another university that's privately owned. Not privately, it's like for profit as opposed to the other ones that are not for profit. And I didn't do a check for them. And I work for another university. I don't do a check for them either. So I think it really does depend on the company you're working for. And I would also say, as a marriage and family therapist, if you get licensed, like I didn't go down the therapy route, and that's a whole different story for a different day. Most of the reason is because I wound up giving birth to my daughter who had a physical disability, and she wound up getting like over 30 surgeries. She had 4 limb lengthenings. They're like a year long, the procedures. So being a professor just fit into my schedule a lot better. And it was such a like intense thing for 20 years that I didn't want to take away from somebody else's depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. So, and I knew that I had my own plate full. So for that reason, I decided to be a research psychologist so I could still do those same things. But I promise you, I still help so many people in that same way. And sometimes I wonder, like, do I go get licensed at this point? But I don't even know that I would want to. I feel like I've come to my calling. With that being said, let's say I go get licensed tomorrow. I can work as a contractor for myself. And unless you, as the consumer, do a check on me before you hire me, then you wouldn't know. So I think that that was an amazing question that you asked, because I think it's really important that people understand the answer to that. And the answer to that pretty much is like, like we just said. So so they keep finding these people working with kids who have a history elsewhere, and they just don't do background checks very deeply. 1,000%, Shelley. Wouldn't that keep her from getting these types of jobs and keep her away from kids? Linda, yes, in some certain situations. But again, if I work as a marriage and family therapist, if I work as a professional counselor in a different state, not necessarily, even if I work, not even if I just work for myself, but if I work for another group, if I'm not directly working like in a facility with kids, there might not be a reason to do that check. You know what I mean? And you know what else I noticed, you guys? And this is terrible. You said, now you're making me think I want to do a check with my therapist. T said, this is the thing. You're not the only one out there right now who has a therapist, as you should. We all should, right? I do too. I've never done one on mine. Have you guys? Who else out there? Nobody has to tell us if you're in therapy. I guess that wasn't a great question. But do you know someone that is in therapy maybe? And, do you think they've done a background check on their therapist? So now if your therapist is working for, now this is the thing, if they're working for like a big corporation, that corporation might require it. But if you're doing, you haven't either, cuff you. And a lot of us don't even think about it. And think about how many times, if your kid's hurting, like both of my daughters, and I shouldn't be saying any of this, but let's say my daughters, my nieces and nephews, my neighbors, any kids, if they need therapy, they need to go to therapy. Like I feel like as the mom, I need to provide that for my kids. And have I ever? No. Do we really check? No. I would hope that this is the thing. On the other hand, so after I'm getting so mad about that, I'm so passionate right now. Being passionate on that side, let me jump on the other side, because I always play devil's advocate. On the other side, I would say this. It is extremely, extremely, extremely rare to find someone who has the self-discipline, there's just so much that you have to do, the structure, the regimen, like all of the things to get a degree at that level. So you don't often, this doesn't happen as often, right? But when it does, it's so bad. So I guess on the other end, you could say that most people in life don't do this, right? So most people in any job don't do this. But in therapy, I feel like in therapy, if you were somebody who would do this, therapy is a great place to strike, because you have people at their most vulnerable, you know what I mean? And you have that private session where there's that, patient confidentiality. I don't know. There's just so much wrong with this. And this case gets me so mad. So let me show you the other thing I have real quick for it so we can move on. So Paula, this is what got me going. Paula, here we go. Paula, you got my heart racing. All right, so let me rewind this. Let's watch. This is Paula from Plunder True Crimes Patreon. And this is the video. Let me see. Here we go. We're going to do full screen. This is the video of the body camera for this particular case. I have not seen it. I believe that it, I'm assuming is her arrest, but I'm not positive. Let me know that you guys could hear it. It's not really saying anything much yet. Know what? You can't hear it?
Vehicles pulling up westbound, parking on the north side of the street.
Can you hear it now? If you could hear it, I'll go into full screen. Now you can. Good. All right.
Still in the vehicle. Doors opening.
Yes, sir.
That's her right there. You see her?
Female blonde is target is coming out, walking to the back of the car. Open up the rear hatch. She's got a black t-shirt and long blonde hair. Through the hatch. She is crossing the street, walking up to the house. Black shirt, blue jeans, white purse. Walking up to the house on the sidewalk.
Green light, green light, green light, green light. Hey, Columbus Police, you got a warrant. Keep your hands where we can see them. You're under arrest.
You got hooks?
We're tactical.
And then you got to secure that.
Roger that.
Thank you. You got anything on you? You got a gun or anything?
Do you have any weapons on you?
You ready for a cruiser?
Okay, we'll go back here, away from.
Yes.
Have a seat, right? Where you got a gun on you? You got to have to speak to us. You understand?
Copy that. 501.
You can call my lawyer.
No, we have to make sure you don't have a gun. You can answer that.
Up here.
Don't have a gun.
Okay, well, we're gonna make sure. Okay, have a seat. Have a seat. Is your kid in the car?
No.
Is your kid at daycare?
No.
Somebody is taking care of your kid then?
All right. 5-1.
Oh, go ahead and stand up. Go ahead and stand up. She's going to be taking you, switching your cuffs out, searching you, okay?
You got anything on you to help me stick me, blow me up? Anything I need to know about? No. Turn your hands so the palms are facing each other.
I see there's new people coming in. If you guys are coming in, this is the story of a 27-year-old counselor who has sexual relationships with her 13-year-old client.
Are you going to get sick? Get sick on the ground before you don't on the cruiser, okay? You done?
Through the grass.
Let's go. Should we go on this side away from the
Bring this one up.
You done?
Wrists are tiny. All right, switch legs again. Nothing tucked down anywhere. No, anything.
She dropped a bunch of stuff up here. It's a phone and a purse, and they're holding it up there. Did I go out on the air? Okay, nice job holding it up. Looks like, seriously, looks like Thank you. Appreciate it. Code 3.
Okay. Gross. Ugh. Makes me sick. Ugh. This literally is like making my chest hurt. And cuff you, I'm good. It's not like real chest hurt. She's making me sick. But excuse me. Yeah, so Addie asks, and hi, Addie, welcome to the chat here. So Dr. Vona, so what is this a phenomenon ongoing with women going after almost pubescent age young men? This is the thing, Addie. You ready for this one, Addie? I don't know that it's necessarily that more so than it's the fact that we're finally catching on. Yes, we have 70 in chat. That's amazing. Thank you, you guys. I think that we're now finally realizing that this is just as bad for little boys as it is for little girls. For such a long time, I know that when I was in high school, and a lot of you are my age, so I'm 47, so a lot of you are my age, older, some are younger. How many of us knew someone in our high school? Oh, how about my thing's not on? My bad. How many of us know someone in high school who, even if it wasn't full-blown like sexual contact with a teacher, knew of a teacher that was inappropriate with the students? I know that we do. And I have to be honest with you, I am so proud of myself. One of the only times that I ever was like mouthy in high school, I was actually proud of myself. Our one teacher, he like helped out with football. And he was always flirting with the girls. And it made me like nauseous back then. And I'll never forget, I told him that what did I say to him? I said, you throw more passes in the classroom than you do in the football field. And I got in so much trouble, but it was worth every demerit that I got. Everybody was like, oh, damn. And I had to say something. It was like disgusting. I was like, it made me just as mad as I am right now back then. So how many of you know of someone, and again, it doesn't have to be a friend, you personally, but know of someone in high school who was with a teacher like this, or that at least was flirting in, I don't know, this type of way? But I don't know. Is it happening more with males, or is it the same and we're just recognizing it more? Because the other thing is, males are more likely to not see this right away as egregious as we all do right now, right? So a lot of times it's not until the boy's suffering in their 20s and 30s and they're going back to counseling and they realize that they have trauma and that this really did affect them. So I don't know. Oh my God, Cuff, you said I am honest. He was a football coach. I was flattered. What? Cuff, you? Tisa says, my high school in San Jose had a few teachers that got caught with their hands in the cookie jar. See, Addie says, yes, a girl I was friends with. She ended up marrying the coach. You guys, how weird is it that the teacher I said something to was also a coach? Like, what is happening? Oh, not in a good way. That's why, cuff you. I was about to come find you and shake you and be like, cuff you. That is not a good thing. Like, what's happening? Oh my God, straight A stupid, cuff you. I'm not the sharpest knife in the sky today, cuff you. And for anybody else that I'm joking, I know that there's no knives in the sky. I said that once by accident instead of I mixed up the sharpest knife in what is it? The sharpest knife in the box? I don't know. And the brightest star in the sky. I just mixed them up. I thought it sounded good. The sharpest knife in the sky. Who knows? Anyway, so that was my update with this. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Next, real quick, I wanted to show you. Oh, I never talk. Oh, well, thank you for talking, Chilean. Thank you for being here. I never talked, but this was huge in my high school, and I am 71. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I think that it's more common than we talk about. And Chilean, was it with a boy or a girl? Like, was the youngster a boy or a girl? I'm curious, you guys, because I do think that this has always been happening with boys too. I didn't realize at the time I was being flirted with. See, Shelly? And let me tell you what happened. So maybe we should talk about this for another minute or so. So what winds up happening, you guys, is that a lot of times the kid winds up feeling so guilty because this adult has some form of power. So let me give you an example. If it's the coach, one of the reasons that the coaches get away with it so much is because they can not get away with, but yeah, kind of get away with, whether it be in like being around the locker room, especially when it's same sex coaches, right? Because if you're a female and you're in the female locker room, it's like, who cares? I'm a girl too. Like, we're all females. So especially in those situations, but even with other things, like let's say you're on whatever, sports type team, and let's say you pull a muscle in your leg. That's like the opportunity for someone that's sick and wants to do these things to like massage your thigh and stuff. Do you see what I'm saying? So it winds up something like that where the kid doesn't even put it together that this is inappropriate, because they're like, what do you mean? Like, they're just helping me rub out, my muscle cramp. But we hear all these things, right? Even with the gymnastics, what was his name? Larry. He was gross, but we hear a lot of these things. And I think it's terrible that these people in positions of power are doing this. It's like, and then we wonder why so many of us meet on my live on Friday night and talk about our trauma. It's like, it's from these people that should have kept the rules and the boundaries that we entrusted them with, and that they don't. And now it's like, everybody suffers as you get older. And I think it was Tisa or someone said earlier that it doesn't ever go away, even with therapy. Whoever said that was brilliant. You would get like extra credit in my class for that one, because that's so true. Even with the best therapy can help you rewrite your story. It can very much help you to learn that these things, I always say, the good news is it's not your fault. The bad news is it's not your fault. And hopefully that makes sense. So although it had nothing to do with you, so the good news is it has not that it's not your fault. Actually, what I'm known for is the good news is it's not about you. The bad news is it's not about you. So it should be more about you, but it's not more about you. And that's the problem, because now like these adults are fulfilling their own needs and their own wants, and they're not considering the futures that these kids now have to deal with for the rest of their lives. It's sick. It's so sick. And I don't know if you guys know this, but it's 1 in 4 college students get SA'd. That's a big one. That's a big one. There's 81 people in here, you guys. Can we please hit like and subscribe? I'm dead. This is amazing. You have no idea. So what are you guys saying here? So we have, and the other part is, Addie says, is that as far as public school, K through 12, they just get rid of the teacher, move them on, don't want to scar or lawsuit and pass the problem, leaving victims. Addie, that is not just in K through 12 at public schools, but I went to Catholic school and that's exactly what happened. The priest literally got moved to the next like town over or to the next parish, and it just got swept under the rug. And you're absolutely right. It was most likely absolutely due to fear of lawsuits and stuff, right? And not just end lawsuits and then getting a bad rap that like our church or our school or you know what I mean? And you don't want the news to be there. You don't want people on YouTube talking with 81 other people on YouTube about this. So it's like, you know, it's easier to just hide it, but it's terrible. It's terrible. Even I don't know if anybody, I was a competitive cheerleader for years. So fun fact about me, story time, but I always like watch cheer stuff. It's like a bit, I don't know. I love cheer and I love singing. They're like two things that I like. But anyway, I was watching on Netflix. There's this Netflix thing called Cheer. It's a show and they've had 2 seasons of it and they didn't go for a 3rd season. And I'm like, why not? So I'm looking it up and here it's because there was all these accusations, same types of things. Well, one of the main stars on the show, this is the thing. So they're a community college and they do competitive cheer and they always go out to like the competitive cheer competition at the end of the year type thing. Well, a lot of these cheerleaders are like famous within like the cheer world. So they call them cheerlebrities. That's what they're called, cheerlebrities. But some of these kids know the stats of these cheerleaders. They know like they won the national championships and all the things. Well, if you're in community college, then you're at least 17, 18, right? But you could also be 27, 28, right? Because there is no like age limit for college. It's not like high school where, you know, after 20 years old, there's nobody there. So here, I was like, oh my God, why didn't I see this? So the one team is called Navarro Cheer and Jerry, their one of their athletes, he's now in jail for like a while. Like he's in jail for a minute and like he's going to be, I don't know how long he got, maybe 12 years or 20 years. I don't know. He got a lot of time. And here what he was doing was he was getting these like there was these twin boys. Well, he was doing it to a lot of little boys, but these twin boys, these identical twins, they loved him. Like he was on Ellen, he was on all the shows. Everybody loved him. People, even if they didn't watch the Netflix series, might remember him. He was the one that did like the cheer mat stuff where he was like, ah, and he would do all the screaming and stuff. So he was like all over the news and things. Well, he was like such a like fun person and So it was heartbreaking when you come to find out that he was using his cheer and the leverage that he had there. And he was like these little boys that like knew everything. They looked up to him. That was another thing. These little boys were gay and Jerry's gay. And he was like letting gay boys, like he was giving them this positive, so you thought, role model that they could look up to and be like, you know, Well, these 2 boys, the mom is like excited for them. They want Jerry to like sign their stuff and Jerry winds up giving them his number. So of course they're like, wow, you know what I thought of? Celeste and David, right? David and Celeste, David being older, like how easy was that for him to just be like, here's my personal Discord like server. You can be friends with me. And it gave me that same vibe. Well, these little boys gave him like their number and stuff. And they started going back and forth. And he was like, you know, when I see you coming up, I'll give you this, I'll do that. Here, the mom comes to find out, oh, you guys, Thor won't stop. Hold on 1 second. I apologize. Talk among yourself for a sec. 1 second. I'll be right there. Hold on, sir. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, the mom winds up going on and finding in the little boys, in all of their stuff, that they were sending him pictures. Here, Jerry was asking for pictures. He was like, first it was like, can you send me like a picture of this, that? It was very, like somebody else was saying, like you said, I think it was Shelly that might have said it. If not, I apologize. But about how like you don't even know that you're getting flirted with at the time. And sometimes by the time you realize it as a kid, you're then thinking, oh my gosh, like, is this person flirting with me? Is this happening? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, did I do something wrong? Did I like say something wrong? Like, what role did I play in this? Am I going to get in trouble? I can't tell anybody. What if I get in trouble? And again, this is coming from personal experience as well, right? So a lot of times you don't even realize. And that's why when you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, because that's what happened to these boys too. They didn't even realize it until it was too late. And then the one boy didn't want to like hurt his brother, so he was like send him pictures. It just, the whole thing was terrible. And the mom winds up like doing this whole thing and exposes him, and now he's in jail. But I wonder like how many other boys got hurt. And again, Jerry was in that position of power because he was older. He was on the cheer team, but after I looked into it, he was like his third year at the community college cheer team. And I was like, then I looked into it. That was Thor. Then I looked into it, and I think he does 2 years when this cheer team goes to another college, which is normal, right? You might do 2 years at a community college, and then you go into another college, which is normal. He then comes back to this cheer team. I don't know how old he was when he winds up getting arrested, but you think about it and you're like, why did he have so much exposure to all these young kids? A lot of them still do. You know what I mean? And should we have better, I don't know, I guess, not policing, that's not the word I'm looking for, like chaperoning, like should there be more intense chaperoning? Here, Jerry was meeting these little boys at like competitions and stuff and like texting them, like, I'll meet you in the bathroom, da 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 da. And it's disgusting. Let me see what you guys are saying. Oh, you subscribe. Thank you, Jamie. You guys, I am so close. Let me just tell you, if I can get, let's say, if I can, I only need 63 more people to subscribe to me for me to reach my next goal. If you're not subscribed to me and you want to see another female, older female, be heard, please subscribe. That's the best thing you could do to help me, is to subscribe. You have no idea. And of course, if you could become a member, that would be amazing. If not, it's okay. Just subscribe, like, maybe share if you can. That would help me more than you can imagine. So, okay, Cuff You, I was too very involved with my son's school, even being a young mom. That's good, right? And this is the thing. Think about how many moms are involved and this stuff happens right under your nose. And that makes it even worse because then as a mom, you're like, what the? This makes me nuts. I just subscribed. Thank you for everything. Oh, I love you. Thank you so much. And then we have Glenn says, hi, Glenn. My mom. Oh, Glenn, I love when people say mom. My mom, my daughter says it to me because she knows that I like it when she wants something. She'll be like, Mommy. And I'm like, oh, what do you want? What does this bitch want now? Mommy. I'm like, oh, here we go. My mom was a child psychologist. That's amazing. She never spoke of work to me except once. You have to watch out for the stepfathers and uncles. Glenn, amen, Glenn. You are so correct. I don't have my notes right in front of me because I didn't know that I would, look into them today, but I'll get them for another live, or maybe I could put a post out too or something with the statistics. But Glenn is correct. You become, it was something like astronomical, like over 100% or something more susceptible to SA when there's a man living in your home that is not your biological father. So when there's a man living in your home that's not your biological father, you are much more likely to be a victim of SA. So I think it's important that not only do we make sure, I think, like, I don't know about anybody here. I'm sure there's plenty of single, moms and dads in here. If you're a single mom or dad and you date it, which is completely normal, you have to do your thing. Like, you have to still be happy too. How long, if at all, did it take before you introduced that person to your children? So again, if you're a single parent or, whatever, how long did it take before you introduced your children to, even if they didn't become a stepdad or a stepmom, but to somebody that you were dating? And if that never happened, if you've never been in this situation, and we were asking, like, let's say I was asking you and I was like, how long should I wait? What would you tell me as somebody that would be, and I'm not in that situation, but I'm saying if I were, what would you tell me as far as how long should I wait? And let me know, like, are you saying it because from experience? You know what I mean? Let's see. So Addie says, with men like coaches in high school, I wonder if it's more of a power trip. But I don't know what a woman would be getting out of it unless something she's missed in her own childhood or young adulthood. So let me tell you, Addie, I'll tell you what she's getting out of it. The same thing. It's still about ego and power. So I would say that there's a possibility that she's not, that one of two things are happening. Either she's not getting the attention that she needs at home, or she's not getting the male attention that she's craving at home, as far as not just like in the home, but like as far as friends and neighbors or just the community around her. And or this person feels out of control in their own life. One of the things that you do when you're out of control in your own life is try to gain control of somebody else. So what better way to gain control of somebody when you're their elementary school teacher? Like, what are these people thinking? I don't get it. Okay, we have, let's see. Addie, this coach was tall, blonde, and to be quite honest, hot. He literally grew me, and he drove, a Corvette, and he did it to other girls too. See, I'd like to kick him right in his brajol. Cuff you. If I saw him, I'd kick him in his brajol. Ooh, what is this? Addie, stop it. Addie gifted 5 memberships, you guys. Oh! All right, let's see who got them. I'm so excited. Addie, thank you. Ooh, that's not, I just went on to see who got it, and you heard me say, ooh. Okay, let's see who got them. I am so, oh my God, and so to cuff you, shut up. Oh, my heart. I'm going to have a heart attack. Okay, let's see. Addie, we have Brandy, J. Cirillo, 1 Sweets RN. Oh, we have another RN. So when I'm saying I'm having a heart attack, Sweets RN, you'll know because poor Cuff You, I torture her. Oh, Cuff You, wait, you guys. Oh my gosh, I am such a goof. Oh no, it is Addie. I thought. Anyway, back to this. Sweet RN, I'm a little dramatic. So when I'm having a heart attack and stuff, I'm probably not really having a heart attack. I had a little pain in the back of my calf, and I was like texting Cuff You, like, Cuff You, am I dying? And she was like, well, where is it? I was like, oh, my calf. She's like, which calf? I was like, my right calf. And I think it was the wrong side, you guys. I could be a little dramatic, so just ignore it. Then we have Doe Borax, and then we have Why Not Walk It? Why Not Walk It? So you guys, you are our 5 newest members. Please say thank you to Addie. Oh, and Addie, I forgot that was Thor. Thor even got excited. But wait, you guys, I could do this. Ready? I'm so excited. Where is it? Where is it? Do it a second time. I'm so excited, you guys. Thank you so much, Addie. Addie, I'm going to put it towards a table because I don't know if you were here earlier, but I'm using a tray table. I said a folding table earlier and I messed up. It's not even a folding table. It's a tray table, and it's an old one from like a long time ago. But thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so excited. Thank you. I can't even breathe. All right, now let me go to the next one. I'm dead. Cuffio. Cuffio, you have been such a blessing. I can't even tell you. Cuff you guys, does our Discord. I don't know if Cuff you wants to share with everyone in Discord, but if you do Cuff you does the best Discord ever. We have so much information in that Discord, okay, and on all the cases. She's amazing. Cuff you, this channel would not be what it is without you, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You are so special. I don't want to cry. Thank you, Cuffy. So let's see, who is our newest people for Cuffy? We have Olive, Gypsy Dream, Bling's the new black. I love that. Then we have Kelly, and we have Sabrosa. That's amazing, you guys. If you guys just heard your name, please thank Cuff You, because she is just amazing. And I just can't even tell you. Oh my God, what is this? You guys, stop. I don't know what's happening. Jamie, thank you. And Jamie, you were saying earlier that you found the channel and stuff. You guys, you have me awful clumped over here. And I'm going to read off the 5 people that Jamie got memberships to. You have a really cool name, Jamie, because I share your name. However, my mom had to spell, she was a narcissist. She's not awake, so she's not listening. But she spelled my name Jaime, so I could never get like a toothbrush or none of the fun things. I was always like, what the frig? It was always Jaime. But whatever. And then we wonder why I have trauma and I'm on YouTube talking to people at 1 a.m. You know what I mean? It just happens. So maybe it's better. Thank you, Mom, for naming me with the name that I couldn't get anything for the toothbrushes and stuff. Jamie, thank you. I can't even breathe. Oh my God. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. Okay, so here we have Courtney, Shelly Boo Boo, Wendy, Stephanie, and Lori. If you got your membership, oh wait, I forgot to do this. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Where's it at? No, come on. Where's my applause at? Where did my applause go? No, I don't want background music. You guys, I just had the applause up and it was so exciting. And now it's just showing me music. Oh wait, here you go, because I pressed the wrong button. And for my lovely Cuff You and Cuff You from earlier, you guys, I am at a loss for words. I really am. I really am at a loss for words. I can't. Addie, I didn't know I was going to stream tonight either. I'm crying, you guys. I'm so freaking dry. Am I going through menopause? Is that the problem? Is that what's happening right now? Because if so, I can't take this. I'm going to have to go somewhere with this, because if this is what menopause is like, I'm not doing it. And if so, am I going to cry like this for a lot? I don't understand. Anyway, should we move to our next case real quick? Thank you, you guys. I am like so like at a loss for words with that. Hopefully you could see that I genuinely appreciate everything that you guys do for me in a way that I can't even explain. So much so that, wait, maybe I could show you this real quick. Here we go. Oh God, of course it's like a funny face. Let's see, is it going to work? Or is it just going to do a funny face? All right, I think I'm going to, oh no, there it goes. Hey guys, most of you like me are tuning in turkey, but I got this in the mail today. Hopefully you could hear it. And I'm dying to open it. And I think It's the computer that everybody on YouTube helped me get. So, let's open it up. I'm so excited. Let's see. They gave me that huge box for this. It's my computer or my laptop. All right, let's see you guys. I make the weirdest faces. Here we go. Move my phone down. There we go. Got my little guy. They gave me that big ass box. I'm gonna put that thing in it. Let's see. I'm so excited. Wow, that's a big screen. My other one, you guys, you want to see what I used to be working with? Well, what I'm still working with. Wait till you guys see. This is where I'm sitting right now. Until noon. This is where all the magic is. And this little computer that's 1,000 years old, and my tray table. And that is how I go live. But now I'm going to get myself a desk. And now I have my new laptop. So hopefully you guys will see me instead of like, I don't know. It always makes me look so pale. I'm so excited. I'm going to go live after Daniel's off. I'll see you all then. Thank you guys. Oh, I said that because in the very beginning it didn't show you. But wait, I was watching Daniel. Hey guys, most of you like me are tuning into Drunk Turkey, but I was so excited I couldn't help myself. So that was my I had to share that with you guys. I was so excited. So excited. So excited. I was so excited that I have no makeup on at all. Yes, please smash the like button. Harlot's here. Hi, Harlot. That's okay, Harlot. But that's why everybody here has to turn their notifications on so that we can all, oh my gosh. I'm still like verklempt, Harlot. You missed it. I just got so many like members. I can't even talk. I don't know what just happened, Scarlett, but like I got like 15 new members this live and my heart is literally like I'm having palpitations. So if you live close by, call an ambulance or something. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so let's see what else we have. I was happy to hit that thumb first thing I do. I love you guys. So wait, let me show you what else I had real quick. This I really want to get to. Even if I don't get to the other things, I could take them off the thumbnail after Daniel or Summer Wells, which I do want to tell you guys. The Daniel Martell thing, there's something about him. I don't know. Not that I don't know, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't know about him. Okay. So what I want to do is tomorrow night, I'm going to do a live. Clutch them mother effing pearls is in the house. I adore you. Can I just tell you, you were on my big ass TV earlier and we were decorating and my daughter said, "Oh my God, Mom, he is fucking fabulous." And I was like, "Yes, he is. Isn't he fabulous?" I forget what you were wearing, but my daughter was like, and then she was like, "Oh my gosh," like she said it like 4 times. She's gay, so she wasn't like, but she wasn't like checking you out in that way. But I was just saying, even if she was, that would be good. But I know you're like married and stuff and older, but older than her. She's 17. Anyway, I'm so excited you're here. Thank you so much for coming. And it's so funny that you just said that you're here because I was just saying, and I'm so glad you're listening, that tomorrow night at 9:30, Clutch Them Pearls. And I would love to do a collab with you. So if you're open to it, just let me know. Even if you want to come on tomorrow night, I don't know if you have anything planned, but I want to do a live and it's called What Don't I Know About Daniel? All right, so let's just, so I go on Drunk Turkey and he introduces me to the case. I love Daniel from Drunk Turkey. We are so close. It's the first case, however, that we weren't really seeing eye to eye. He might be right. I mean, maybe Daniel didn't do anything horrible. I don't know, but I don't feel like I have the information that I should have on Daniel Martell. So I feel like I need people that know the case to help me so that I can figure out what this feeling is that I'm getting that just doesn't sit right with me. So, and again, I don't know that means that I think, and I don't really know everybody's point of view on the whole thing. I just know that the things that I've watched so far, that my red flags are all over the place. And then Summer Wells, I never ever looked into the Summer Wells case until, what was it, like a day or two ago? I looked into the Summer Wells case and I was like, what's happening here? I was like, this case is something nefarious, I think, happened in that Summer Wells case. But again, I don't know enough about it. So if anybody out there has like information or like a video, and I know Clutch Them Pearls does a lot of them, and don't worry, I've been watching you. Fabulous. But I need like specific things that I could research by tomorrow, especially with Daniel, so that I can react to some things. And let me know if it's things that I should react to during the live, or is it something that I should research first? Do you know what I mean? So thank you. I do want to keep Jack and Lily's name out there because I think that it is horrible. And I think maybe one of the things with Daniel that doesn't sit so right with me, you guys, is that he likes to keep his name out there, which to me is a little, and I also get the feeling that he loves to hate Malaya. Am I wrong about that? Like, I feel like he like lives to like jab at her. And I know that we've all had a broken heart at some point and we've all been like, but like, for example, and again, I don't know as much about the case as most of you, but the one thing I do remember is he did a video. Oh yeah, he did an interview with Daniel from Drunk Turkey, and I did a video on that. And he said that they were like in the parking lot and that he parked next to her, and he said something, and DT did question him. DT said to him something like, he said something like, well, wait, like you couldn't have parked anywhere else. And then Daniel M says, well, there was a spot right next to her. I was going to take that spot right next to her. And I'm like, so then that meant, yes, there were other spots in the parking lot that you could have taken, but you parked next to her. To me, that's like power and control, in my opinion. It's like, I don't know, but there's just something. I don't know. DM, Hales went radio silent. Oh, so now DM went radio silent? I think I know why with that too. Tune in tomorrow night and we'll talk about it. I do think I know why he's radio silent. And Clutch Them Pearls. So tonight on the Drunk Turkey show, oh, you know what? Let me just show you guys. Clutch Them Pearls. Stay on real quick because I need to show you something. I need to get your opinion. I don't know if this was something that was out there, or was this like what I'm about to show you? Wait, let me get to it real quick. DT show. So the Drunk Turkey show does a show tonight and we're all listening, and he had like call-ins. Okay. So this woman towards the very end of the show calls in and starts like telling some story that I've never heard yet. So I'm going to see if I can get to her real quick. And let me. Okay, and I'm going to go over there. I'm going to share it real quick so that you can hear it because I want to see what you have to say. And others, of course. But I think a lot of people might have saw it with me. So let me just say.
He does get attacked, but not as much as them. And they realize it's because they talk so much. It don't sound like they were out there before, way out of the way for two.
Finding out that
oh, here she is. Hold on.
I'm not familiar with.
wrapped in a towel that was.
And it's not uncommon for family members to turn on each other. There was a case out here in San Antonio, a pregnant young lady. She was supposed to go get induced, both of them. They both suspects to turn on each other. You want to separate them and isolate them and make sure they don't talk. which is what they did to themselves. Malaya left Daniel, blocked him on all things, and I'm sure law enforcement were egging her on. I guarantee you law enforcement were egging her on because they wanted to maintain the separation of that relationship, because they didn't want them to come together and have an alibi, clear up something.
It's coming up, I promise. And you guys, I only need 50 more people to get to my next big goal. So please subscribe.
By a volunteer search person who notified the RCMP, and then the RCMP went and collected it. And I have a picture of the RCMP officer along with the vehicle that they were driving.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering why the police have now reported that it's lost. And my other one is follow-up is that Belinda
It's a shirt.
Gray had actually indicated to us that there was a sweater wrapped in a towel that was also located on the search date that PBMH went out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we actually sent someone to go collect it and bring it to Major Crimes, who met them immediately and did pick it up. We've also never heard any word on that. I'm just wondering where all this missing evidence is going.
Yeah, no, I in an open investigation, we probably aren't going to hear about everything. Now, I do know in the RCMP documents, they reference a few other items that were found out there during the initial search and that they had no relevance. The media had stated that there was some items found, including a blanket, I believe, and that the RCMP comment to them was that they were not related. And that was referencing the Please Bring Me Home search. I believe it was the blanket, but I don't, it doesn't sound like anything has come up since the initial search of any relevance to the case, which can be concerning. But I also think that when I looked at where majority of the search was happening, it seemed like they were covering a lot of the same spots that ground and search and rescue team had already searched and covered tremendously. In fact, I think somebody had commented about the sheer amount of pink ribbons that were out there. Now, I'm not familiar with anything underneath the cliff. And this picture, if you don't mind sending me that, I would really be interested in seeing that, because I'm not familiar with that finding.
Are you talking about the bloody sweater that was wrapped in a towel?
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, that was outside the PBMH search area, actually.
Okay.
Was actually notified to PBMH, but they didn't care to go and collect it. They said that it was of no value to them as far as they knew. So that's why we had actually sent somebody to go collect it ourselves to submit it, because I don't understand under what authority any kind of anything around there wouldn't be something to be looked at.
I don't disagree with you. I think it should have been. I didn't know there was blood on it too. That's interesting.
Well, I can't guarantee you it's blood, but it certainly looked like blood.
Understood. Yeah, if you have information or images of that, if you don't mind sending it to my email at drunkturkeyshow@gmail.com, I'd love to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not familiar with that. And my goal has always been to be accurate, as accurate as I possibly can. That's why even when, like, for instance, things that have come out that maybe don't make, certain people look in the best light, like Daniel, I'm not hidden from those things. I've been the one that have broken many of the things that that don't look good, and that's because of what he's told me. And at the end of the day, I just kind of think that RCMP's investigation is pretty thorough, but if there's more to it, I'd be definitely interested. How far outside of this? I'm not familiar. Where was this found? Was it a child's sweater?
No, it was a woman's sweater, and it was, I believe, if I remember correctly, it was a gray type sweater, like a sweatshirt sweater type with a cheetah print.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
They never mentioned anything about that, which is fine. We've already submitted it. Major Crimes came right away. They seemed interested, so that was great. But they, I wonder about the police's work with this, just to an extent. I mean, I respect them. I love them. I appreciate them. I work with them often. But my question is that, so there was a witness that has come forward that actually states being on Lansdowne Station Road, Lansdowne Road, and they actually were stopped by two vehicles. One was identified as Alvin McKenzie, and the other person, one of the occupants of the second vehicle, was named as Jenna Jowdry. So when this witness went to the police with the information, they didn't really do anything about it. But I'm just wondering, given the fact that they pulled him over in order to check this evidence that they found at 10:45 in the morning on May 2nd, and yet that item was not reported as found until after 3:21 by a girl named Emily Oakley. So why didn't they report these items found at 10:45 in the morning and head in the other direction rather than go to the house and report it? Why did nobody ever hear about it till late in the afternoon?
I don't know. Like I said, this is the first time I've heard about any of this.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's been distorted between all this project obstruction that has been going on between these camps. And it is quite frustrating trying to run an investigation when you have 20,000 other investigators competing for that spot. So,
right.
You know.
So run that by me again. Somebody got pulled. McKenzie. Which McKenzie got pulled over?
No, it wasn't a McKenzie that got pulled over. It was our witness.
Okay.
Was driving down the road, heading to a fishing spot, I believe, and happened to notice these people on the side of the road. Slowed down. They flagged them down. The girl said, "We found a shirt." He's seen her run out of the bushes towards the vehicle. And then she said, "Oh, we found a shirt down here," and told them that they were family from Truro and they were out looking for the missing kids. Well, the witness had never heard of any missing kids or anything like that at that point. So was curious, went and looked at the shirt that was placed ever so nicely over the top of a little pine tree. And then those guys ended up departing ways. But when they left in the complete opposite direction of the house on Gerlach. And then later on, I'm checking the court documents, finding out that Emily Oakley reported finding these items, and her timestamp on her photo for those items was at 3:21 p.m. But those items were discovered at 10:45 a.m. We have a witness statement.
Gotcha.
So I don't understand that.
I don't either. That's interesting. I mean, at 10:45 a.m., that's super early.
Right?
That's like the police didn't even arrive there. They just arrived at Gerlach Road for I don't know, 12 minutes already at that point. I think they got there at 10:27.
Precisely.
And so, now if it was, I guess, a McKenzie, I mean, where did that name come from? I know you mentioned it.
Because unlike the police, I actually made sure that my team supplied this witness with a complete photo lineup of anybody and everybody we could compile that could possibly be related to the case. And after numerous selections, they did finally pick out Alvin McKenzie as one of the drivers of a silver Civic 4-door. And Jenna Jowdry was hanging out the back of a dark-colored sedan.
Okay.
They were confidently identified by a very valid source.
And has this source spoken to law enforcement?
Yes. Everything that I'm stating to you has been forwarded to law enforcement at the time that all these claims were made, but nothing's been followed up and everything's just been kind of lost in the mail.
Gotcha. And where was and how far away was this from Gerlach Road?
Well, you know where sorry, not to cut you off. Sorry, hon.
It's okay.
You know where the T-shirt was found along with the blanket?
I don't. I'm not. I know where one blanket was found, just the one that was in question.
Sorry, on the tree.
Yeah, the one on the tree. I'm familiar with. Yeah, I'm familiar with that one was found.
So that's right where it was.
Okay.
I can send you the logistics to all of that as well.
That'd be great. Yeah, I'd like to look at that. Because I know that the blanket was found just shortly before 4:00 by, I believe it was family members of Malaya's.
Correct. Emily Oakley and I believe Haley.
Mm-hmm.
Emily Oakley was the girlfriend to Hayden. She was staying with Patty and had actually come to the search with Patty. from Truro.
So did Haley also see this sweater with potential blood on it?
I don't believe so. That was collected independently. So what happened was PBMH had different search teams designated to whatever areas. Pardon me.
Okay.
And there was a couple participants who weren't able to make the terrain. So they just kind of scouted off on their own. And they ended up coming across it, taking pictures, phoning it in. And then nobody wanted to do anything with it. But when it was brought to our attention, I thought, well, no, it's in that area. So I think, it's worth having a look at, just to have it look at least.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it was opened up and looked at, it was like, okay, that might be blood. So how about we just send it in?
Right. Well, I would assume, this is a big assumption, but I would assume that it would have been tested. And I know that they've gotten toothbrushes or some sort of stuff from Jack and Lily to match for DNA. So there should be a easy way to determine whether or not that was blood, that it belonged to them or not. And that would determine whether or not the blood was related to somebody of theirs. Now that doesn't mean Daniel, obviously. So if Daniel cut himself or something happened to Daniel and he bled on something, he himself told me they have never asked for his DNA. He believes they have his DNA because he's drinking cups and things like that during interrogations and stuff like that, but they've never swabbed him himself. But if it was like Malaya's, if it was somebody else who was related to them, there would be some sort of like somewhat of a match. So it's interesting. I wonder about it. I had heard that they had found other items. Now, I was familiar with the sweater. I was not familiar with it being any possible blood on it. I was familiar with, I think, a shirt, another piece of blanket, a separate pink blanket that wasn't apparently associated with anything, and some bottled water bottles and some other things that were in that area. Let me rephrase that were unknown where they were found. When Daniel told me about those items, he told me that those items, when they showed him pictures of it, they were all separate. So he doesn't know if they were found together, found separate, or any of those things. And in the RCMP documents, they kind of loosely mentioned some of those items as not being relevant. But if there's blood on it, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not confirmed yet. It looks suspicious to me. And you know what? When it was called into the RCMPs to come and look at it, they actually made it there in due time, I think 10, 15 minutes. Like they wanted their hands on it. So I thought that was interesting that, it wasn't handed in by other people on these searches, but, it could be valid. And I don't know why it wouldn't have been collected.
That's interesting why it wouldn't have been collected so early on. I don't understand why it wouldn't have been either if they took all the way till 3:00. That's wild. But
yeah, it is. It's pretty sad. Like that's how much information has been lost in transition here. It's like, things that should have been said or done have not been. Instead, we've been worried about other things that are just obstructing it all. And it's getting tough. Like I would love to be able to ask Alvin, why he was on that road, or even talk to Jenna and find out, why she didn't report it. But Daniel's camp has been against me since day one, so I get nowhere with that. I'd love it if you could ask.
Yeah, no, I already, I am. Trust me. So if you send me the names, Alvin is one of them, right? You said Alvin. You know what? I'll ask right now. I don't know if I'll get an answer right now, but I'll ask.
Who's Alvin, you guys? I don't even know who half of the people are that they're talking about.
All right. I sent out the question there. I know that I've talked to Janie and I've talked to Daniel, and both of them have said that they're kind of stepping away also. They've been attacked a lot. And so, one of the things that they have been saying beforehand is that they've noticed that Malaya does get attacked, but not as much as them. And they realize it's because they talk so much to social media. And so
So real quick, you guys, this is part of PBMH. She was an investigator, but she left there and now works with Darlene, Belinda's lawyer. And Daniel does text DM. He doesn't text them back before the end of the show. I don't know if he's talked to him yet, but he explains right here what Daniel says is the reason he's not on social media.
they basically told me that they're stepping away because of that. So we'll see if they respond.
Because we talk too much crap on them.
But that's interesting. I was not aware of that. And so were you part of the recent search?
I have not been a part of the PBMH for about a month and a half, 2 months now.
Oh, okay.
I was signed from there actually earlier on in the case.
Gotcha.
I'm working actually under Daleen Thomas, the law firm.
Understood.
So yeah, so I've been looking into it all along. I usually try to keep a low profile, but I'm so tired of people missing such important, critical aspects of this case that I finally decided that, you know what, I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah. What do you think about the boot prints?
I don't know. In my experience looking for missing people, I mean, boot.
Harlot, she's an ex-investigator. And she's been there. She left there, 2 months ago from the PBMH. Oh, what does it stand for? Oh, clutch. You would know that. What does PBMH stand for?
Print around the place.
And clutch. You're definitely right. He ain't stepping away. His ego is like too big.
They went missing, maybe, but a boot print that far away and just a boot print when it's 2 children, I don't know. I find that skeptical.
RCMP indicated there were a cluster of boot prints, 2 different sizes, both children. One of them matched the boots that were purchased by Malaya in March with the down to the size on the thread pattern of the boot print, saying 29. And that they also indicated that they believed it was out of the way for other kids to have been walking in that area.
Okay. That I would suggest maybe looking more into, but I wasn't aware of other boot prints that match their exact sizes. I was told that the bigger size of boot would have been way too big for Lily. So I'll confirm that.
No, so the documents indicate that there was a 29, and in fact, they thought it was too small. So they went and spoke with Malaya, and Malaya said that Lily wore a size 13.
Over here, they talk about the boots, and I know that everybody's read in the documents about the boots. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, I couldn't get that out. It says, wasn't it Belinda who found those items she's talking about? I'm not sure. Hopefully you guys can answer that, though. I'm not sure. But yes, Ginger, yes, so it is. Wasn't it Belinda who... Oh, that makes sense. So wait, what would... Oh, please bring me home in Canada. I'm like, what's please bring me home? Oh my gosh, you guys. You guys, my nickname, just in case you haven't been here for a minute, my nickname is Straight A Stupid. I have a doctorate degree, but everybody's writing, please bring me home. And I'm like, what does PBMH stand for? Oh, okay. So, okay, Daniel said from his own mouth that the RCMP told him that the boots and the blanket was planted. By who? Let me tell you one of my problems with him. He's very, he seems to know certain things. Like, he's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, he'll say something like, they said to him, to DM, they said, are you surprised that they didn't find anything in the woods? And he said, no, I knew they weren't going to find anything. They're not in the woods. So where are they? I guess, so for me, as somebody that studies human behavior, for me, that just says, if you're that sure that nobody's going to find them there, why and where is it that you think they are? I don't know, but I could be. So wait, Mike Demand said in a recent live that he thinks that DM is not talking because of something he or a friend said to him in a live or elsewhere. So, DT says that, see, this is the thing. I don't know if you guys knew this, but the only like few times that I did a live on Daniel, he was in my chat. Tomorrow night, I have a live scheduled for 9:30 Eastern. So please tune in for that, because I'm going to need all the help that I can get with this one, because I wouldn't be surprised if, oh, you said don't ever say that about myself. Don't worry. I know I'm smart. I have my doctorate degree right there. But it's pretty funny because I do. I'll like get lost. I live in the same neighborhood for my whole life. I'll be like, wait, where's that? And my husband will look at me like, oh my God. So, I'll say something stupid like I'm not the sharp. I'll be like, oh, he's not the sharpest knife in the sky. And then we'll laugh because I'll be like, oh, I just mixed two different things up. So it's all in good fun. But Daniel says that he's being quiet because of what people are saying online, and that he believes, like he put it together, he was like upset because he thinks that everybody is more on him than they are on Malaya. And I don't know if DM's the one that said it or if it's somebody, like, this is the thing. He listens to all of us. So he's like, even if he's not in your live while you're talking about him, he definitely goes back and looks. And I know I do have an ADHD brain. Excuse me. I don't even know what the heck that came from. So Daniel said that he realizes that Malaya just doesn't speak to the public as much. So there's less to say about her, because now this is my thing. There's no way he just realized that after all this time. He had to have heard somebody on a live somewhere say, because I've said it 1,000 times. Every time, yeah, he's always watching, but he's in my chat. Does he ever go in your chat, Clutches and Pearls? Like, him and the mom will come in my chat and like start asking questions. And then I feel like, not weird, but a little bit like, oh, like it's harder. It makes it harder to do the live that way. But as somebody who has the degrees that I have, so this is where my intelligence does come in. I'm not smart at everything, but psychology, I'd go toe to toe with anyone, hands down. But with that being said, what the hell was my point? Oh, about Daniel being in the live. I realize that part of that is manipulation and trying to take control of the conversation. So by being in a live, and I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, but I'm asking Clutch you if he's ever been in his chat, because I feel like he like does this stuff to women specifically. So yes, sometimes not Janie though. She, oh my gosh, the first time I ever talked on the subject, I was in Daniel DT's live, and Daniel, like, he didn't know that I didn't know that they'll just come in the lives. And I'm like telling like my like truth, like whatever. And all of a sudden he's like, well, Janie says that. And I was like, wait, who? I was like, where? The mom? I was like, the grandmoms and oh my God. But then I realized to myself that would allow him or her to take control of the conversation, right? And that's besides the point. So what I'll do sometimes, you guys, is I will have my mod text me if I need to look at the chat, but I will do my live mostly I'll stop and look at the chat at some point, but if I know that I'm about to like do like react to an interview that I've never seen before, I don't want any bias and I don't want to be skewed in any way. I don't even want it to come in my head to where I have to make a boundary. So I will just not look altogether. But the first time it happened, I kind of got caught off guard, but I had already said what I had to at that point. So there was no taking it back anyway. So I'm glad it worked out that way. But it was a little bit strange to be like, why are they in the chat? Like, what's happening? Is this normal? Do people usually go in the chat? Like, oh, but I feel like he's different with females. Do you guys feel that too? For sure. I feel like he feels like he can manipulate the situation with females. And I think that part of this is because this is his reality, right? Like for someone who, for Daniel, he like, I don't know how, but he somehow gets the girls, not all the girls, but there's a population of the girls that like him. I don't understand it. You don't understand it, but I don't understand it. But he'll like be cheating on this one with that one and this one. And I'm like, what? Like, what's happening? What's happening? I can't. So, public service announcement, females, if you're watching, do not date him. It is not going to end up good. And I'm not even talking about like the extreme situations he's in. I'm just talking about personality wise. You're not going to be happy. You're not. I promise. Don't do it. Anyway, back to what we're saying. Yes, happy Friday, everyone. It takes a special kind of girl. Oh no, just me. What happened? Ooh, he is. Oh, we're throwing up at Daniel. Oh, at Daniel's ability to get the ladies. Oh yes, I second that. Blech, for sure. But he does, right? So what does that say to me? That just says to me that when you have someone that could be vulnerable, because this is the thing, he's not dating someone like me, right? Because, well, one, I'm not looking his way, but two, because I would catch on to him in the first like 30 seconds of talking to him. I would be like, cuz you're shadier than blinds to go. I don't know what to tell you. So, okay, so narcissists are also pathological liars. So this is the thing. Narcissists are pathological. It's not even that they're pathological liars. Let me just tell you. So with a narcissist, it's even worse than that. They wind up believing their own stories. Like they dead ass believe what they say it like most of the time. So they'll retell a story and you and I would categorize it as a lie. And they would categorize it as like a white lie. Like no big deal. I'm like, dude, white lies matter too. Like all lies are lies. It's a lie. I don't know what to tell you. It's a lie. But narcissists will believe their own lies. And the thing is that narcissists, you guys, are very childlike. So I always tell people, when you think of narcissistic personality disorder, think of childlike. The person is extremely insecure. They're not that secure. When you're that secure, you don't have to like make yourself big, right? So a narcissist makes themselves big because they feel small. And when somebody injures a narcissist, and they have a narcissistic injury is what we call it, right? So when a narcissist has an injury like that, they wind up, one of two things winds up happening. So one, and both of these things often wind up happening as well, like, you know, simultaneously. But one is, I'm going to do the thing even better than you could ever imagine it to show you that I am not that person. So for example, Bryan Kohberger, right? He's not the narcissist that most of us think of. Most people think of Ted Bundy. They think of like somebody that can like get the girls, the this and that. Bryan Kohberger is the other type of narcissist. There's many categories of narcissists. But with Bryan Kohberger, when he felt a narcissistic injury, he would take on a challenge and not just defeat it, but like try and kill it. So for example, he loses 130 or 100 pounds or something like that and keeps it off. He then goes, you know, he was using heroin. He kicks that habit so much so that he becomes vegan. So again, it's not even that he just becomes sober. He has to become sober squared. So now he's got to be a vegan too. With going to school, he not only graduates from community college, he goes on to get a bachelor's, a master's, and now he's in a doctorate program. So he just keeps going to the extreme over and over and over. So to me, that means every time he felt a narcissistic injury or somewhere he felt insecure about that specific part of his life, he comes back by overcompensating for that. That's like a very narcissistic thing to do. Unfortunately for Bryan Kohberger, his identity was like, he never developed an identity, where a lot of other narcissists will develop identity, or will develop somewhat of an identity. Maybe, all right, they develop an identity, it just might not be the most healthy identity, right? It could be dysfunctional. So with that being said, with Bryan Kohberger, in my opinion, he had no identity. He had a complete lack of identity, and he tried to find identity in many things and failed, and he was never good enough. So then he tries to do things where he takes it to the extreme to not only be good enough, but to like show you like, look at me, look at what I did. Like I graduated with honors type thing. Like, go ahead. The problem is he kept going and going and going because it never filled or satisfied that need that he had to feel heard. And he wanted people to see him. And unfortunately for the 4 victims, right? So for Kaylee, Xana, Maddie, and Ethan, he winds up finding an identity through killing them. So now, for the rest of his life, he will be known as the person that took the lives of these 4 beautiful young college students, right? Who had so much promise in their life. And because they were so well liked and they had so many followers and they were so easy to love, and how many of us fell in love with them after the story and everything, they're so easy to love that they attract people. So now he gets attention every time one of them gets attention, because then it all goes back to him and how their story ends that way. And to me, that's like the ultimate narcissistic, antisocial in that sense thing to do. Actually, I'll go one further. I think he takes it to the highest step by pleading guilty. For me, that was his way of taking control of the way he was going to die. So by pleading guilty, they took the death penalty off the table. They didn't even hold him accountable for shit, as far as like, he didn't even have to tell us nothing. He didn't have to tell us what he did with the knife. He didn't have to tell us anything. They just were like, just confess, or not, just tell us you did it. And yeah, like what the frig? But to me, they gave him control back in the end there. So when it comes to a narcissist, and somebody else said that earlier, that, this is on their terms. Oh yeah, clutch and pearls. This is on their terms. That's like, they have to do it on their terms. And they have a disregard for our terms and a disregard for our boundaries. So coming full circle back to the chat, when you're in a chat and you're trying to do a live where you're using all of the things that you've been taught academically, and then for the past 20 something years of experience, right? So I'm trying to access all of that. I have a severe ADHD, if any of you haven't noticed, but I do pretty well with it. I use it as my superpower, but it is what it is. So I try to focus on all this stuff to then look to the side and be like, oh, here we go. And you see, the person that you're speaking about in your side chat, and that could get very like intimidating for some people. I'm at the point now where I'm like, bring it on. Daniel, if you're listening, this girl wants you to be in chat tomorrow. If you would like, call me. I would love to interview you. I'll be easy on you. I promise. I'm a psychologist. I'm not mean. I just have legit questions for you. That's all. So Daniel, if you're watching this, I have legit questions for you. You should let DT set it up to where I can speak to you. And I feel like he seems to he seems to take any question that you have for him. And I feel like he's probably answered so many questions, but I think a lot of it, oh, look, do we have call me. I feel like I still have questions for him. Let me ask you guys a question. If I ever have the opportunity to speak to him, what question would you suggest that I ask? So because you guys all know this case even way better than I do, I didn't come onto this case until late in the game, like recently. And with Summer Wells, literally the other night was my very first live on that case, and I knew nothing going into it. And let me apologize right now real quick. Let me right a wrong. Not that it was a wrong. I knew nothing about the case. I go on the live on the panel and they bring up Fred. Do you guys know about Fred and Ziggy, I guess? So we watched like the video of them and I was just reacting. And this is the thing. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I was feeling goofy. Were you guys in that live? Do you guys know what I was talking about? You guys, Clutch and Pearls, did you see that? So I feel a little bit bad. So Ziggy and Fred, I felt like it was a distraction from Don and Candace, in my opinion. And again, I don't know the case. I could be 100% wrong. I'm going on my gut instinct from my academics and from my gut instinct of what I feel. And I feel like Candace and Don is where people need to look as far as Like, what was going on over there? What was considered normal and abnormal for your household? And what do you know about your daughter being missing? I feel like the whole Fred and Ziggy thing is, oh, clutch them pearls. I was a little bit sassy. It is, oh my God, scream it from the rooftops. Yes, Cuff you, clutch and pearls. Do you agree too? Like, I feel like Candace and Don is where we need to look. Do you guys know who Fred is? Yeah, Don and Candace, right? Do you guys know who Fred and Ziggy is? I'm assuming that you all do because I feel like you guys all know this case too. I'm just like catching up. Please know that I teach 11 college and university courses, and I do all of like the professional development for our faculty at the one school. So I am so busy, but my semester is coming to an end and I get like a month off. And then I did my classes next semester to where I could be more available for YouTube. I've literally told the university and the colleges, I've been here for over 2 decades. Can I please do more online so that I can focus more on this new passion of mine? And they were all like, cool. So we'll see what happens. I still have in classes. I still want to go to class, but I'm doing a lot more online than I did this semester. Okay, so you guys know who they are, Freddie and Ziggy. Are they like a distraction or are they somebody we need to look into? Because in the moment, I felt like, yeah, if we're going to focus on everybody with a record, half of the people in my, like that I know would be side-eyed and they don't even know Somerville. So I don't feel like we can necessarily just go on someone's record of like if they're, what type of person they are today, right? So I just felt like, is this a distraction from Don and Candace? Like, I don't know. It felt like a distraction. So sometimes that's so excellent. Good on you. Oh, about my classes. I think we're like a second or two behind. So I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about the Fred and Ziggy thing, because I don't know if I was feeling the right thing. But wait, Cuff you. I don't know if you were there for this. You guys, sometimes when I get it, like I'm snarky, it's just who I am. I know who I am. I have a very strong identity. So I don't feel like you're a rock star. I don't feel like I have to always 100% be on my professor behavior. I am Jaime Vona at the end of the day. I'm just like you. I'm just crazy and went to school for a million years. That makes me no different. I'm sure you're all crazy and do something crazy too. Ziggy's a content creator while working on the Summers case. So she met and married. So that's the part I find out the other night. Not only do I find this out, I find this out by we're watching their very first meetup. And, did it look like they knew? It was pretty much like one of the questions that came up, and this wasn't the point of it, but one of the questions that came up was, do you think that that Ziggy and Fred not set it up, but they already met and that she was like, all right, I need the tape coming up. And I'm like, so I made a joke and now I feel bad. So Ziggy, I apologize. I'm just goofy and snarky. But I think I said something along the lines of, oh, you guys, this definitely wasn't staged. She would have definitely picked better pants. And then later on, I was like, what did you say? But wait, I do one worse with Fred. Oh my God. They were telling me his entire record and how he shot someone in the neck and the this and the that. But again, I felt like it was just a distraction. So I was like, look, you guys, Fred, he sounds like a real panty dropper, but he didn't do that. I think we need to look back at Candace and Don. And I think I said a few things like that. And I don't know if anybody here was on that live. And if you were, did it sound disrespectful? Because I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. It was kind of funny when I said it, I think. Question for Daniel. Oh, yes. Give me questions for Daniel if I ever get the opportunity. How was his childhood? Ding, 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 ding. How did it compare to Jack? And A+ over matters. A+. Legit, if you were in my class, I legit would have given you extra credit points for that. That's exactly the question that needs to be asked. So again, you guys, and let me put it up on the screen. this is the question that needs to be asked. How was your childhood, and how did it compare to Jack and Lily's childhood? What a question. This question, if I ever get an opportunity, not only will this be asked, but I feel like there's a series of questions that relate to this question that are so important. But the fact that you are able to connect it to the kids, that's important. Do you know why, you guys? Because we have intergenerational transmission of things, whether it be transmission of trauma, violence. It could be good transmission. It could be transmission of love and tenderness. You know what I mean? But with that being said, when people have trauma in their life, we trauma bond, right? So we find other people that have trauma in their life. And the problem is that, and this is the thing, you guys, why does this happen? So I'm saying that we meet other people and we trauma bond, but like, let's be real. This starts out from when we were kids. So when we were kids, we see different things. And just in case any of you out there have seen this, you could see someone being abused. And I don't know if everybody knows this, but your brain legit interprets it as if you're being abused. It's that monkey see, monkey do, the mirror neuron system. So just watching someone else be abused you might as well be being abused as well, because that's literally how your brain interprets it. Because you're so young and your brain is so underdeveloped, your brain grows at its most between conception and the end of your 5th birthday. So at birth, your brain's about 25% developed. By the end of your 5th birthday, your brain's 90% developed. It only grows by 10% from 6 to 25. So we always talk about that lack of brain development in the prefrontal cortex, which is true. And it doesn't finish developing until you're around 24, 25. But a lot of people forget that the most brain development that occurs is actually the first 5 years of our life. So I often will hear people say things like, you know what, though, at least they won't remember. Like, they were young, they're not going to remember. We got out. And I'm like, sometimes you can argue that that could even be worse, because they might not remember consciously, but subconsciously, I promise you, their brain will never forget. And that almost does more of a disservice in the sense that now they might get older and they might have a hard time with intimacy and not know why. So they might be like, well, from as far as I can remember, I had a good life. I had this, I had that. I don't know. And now the person doesn't know what to work on in therapy. So I do think that there is something to, just letting people be aware of that it's better to be from a broken home than to be in one. I promise you, especially when there's physical abuse. And the worst thing you could do, you guys, is talk bad about the other person to your children. It never does anything good. That's another thing. So, you might not even have to suffer abuse. You could just hear the negative things that your parents say about each other. And to a kid, when their identity's forming, they start to what's the word I'm looking for? Take in, or not interpret, internalize. Oh my gosh. They start to internalize everything. And if dad's a piece of shit, then I'm half piece of shit because I'm half dad. And then you go to dad's house and mom's a bitch. So now I'm half so the kid winds up identifying with these negative characteristics. I promise you, when that kid gets older and gets married themselves or has kids themselves, they will look back and thank you for not bad-mouthing the other parent, and they will see for themselves all of the things that you wanted to say and tell them, but you didn't, because you did them that service, because you were a good parent. So congratulations to all of you who were able to do that. You did your kids such a service, you have no idea. Back to the abuse thing though, real quick. When you're a kid and you're experiencing abuse in any way, again, even if you're watching someone else be abused, you wind up going to school and hanging out with friends, and you're not really being a kid. You're internalizing and worrying. If you're a little girl, you're a little worrier as a kid. So now you're worrying, like a worrier in the sense of, if you're watching abuse at home, it's probably not something that you can compartmentalize. So you probably bring that with you to things like school and socializing. So when other little kids are like writing notes like, do you like me? Circle yes or no. You're thinking, oh my gosh, are the cops going to get caught again tonight? Or, oh my gosh, what if my friend asks to come over my house? We can't go to my house. What if my mom and dad get? So they're worrying about all the things, right? And if you're a little boy, we often see that they become like little like fighters, like, little soldiers. And they're more like, someday I'll be big and nobody's going to hurt my mom or nobody will hurt my dad again. Someday I'll be able to stand up for them. And again, that little boy shouldn't be worried about that. They should be worried about, do you like me? Circle yes or circle no, right? And what happens is those two little kids grow up and they go on to date. And if they date other people who have not had similar stressful experiences like that. Now, again, there could be other experiences someone else has, but we're talking about abuse here and witnessing abuse or suffering abuse. If you're with someone who hasn't had that as a teen or young adult, you might feel like, I don't know if I can relate to this person. You might feel like you always have to like, is everybody looking at me? Are they going to know? Are they going to think less of me if they know? All these things. And that winds up like, tarnishing that relationship. So what winds up happening usually is that little soldier warrior kid and the warrior girl find each other and they trauma bond. And it's like, okay, we're good now, even though the person may have never dealt with the issues, but we both understand each other. What they're saying is we both have trauma and we're now going to bond over that trauma. And now we're going to bring kids into the world. And these kids are going to be brought to this world consciously in a loving relationship, but subconsciously in a trauma bonded one. And when you still have trauma that's undealt with, you unfortunately have a hard time teaching your kid in a way that isn't reflective of that. It takes a lot of trauma therapy to even make connections between how one, acts or reacts to a situation and even tying it back to that. Even little things like if you're the type of person that like flips out or screams, stuff like that. I would ask myself, like, what trauma, like, did I go through trauma when I was growing up? And am I reverting back to that age of that trauma? And is that how I was heard back then? And what in my life, why in my life do I feel now that that's the only way I can be heard now? And you guys, trust me when I tell you, this is from a South Philly Italian, Northeast Philly Italian. It's from a Philly Italian. How about that? So we screamed growing up because if you didn't get heard. So everybody screamed at everyone. It's just how it went. So I'm not saying that this isn't coming from someone who doesn't yell. If my husband and I get into an argument, I like have to tell my girls afterwards, like we both have to go to them and be like, don't do that. You shouldn't yell. We're very good at like not doing that often, but everybody's human, right? But my daughters laugh at me because I'll like, if me and my husband are like getting annoyed at each other and we start to raise our voice, I subconsciously start to walk up the steps so that I'm like 2 steps higher so that I could be like eye level. And I never noticed I was doing it, but I share it with you because we subconsciously do these things to level up. And even though I didn't realize I was doing it by standing on that 2nd step. So then the next time I got to the 3rd step and my husband was like, ooh, look at you. He was like, look at you, tough guy. You're on the 3rd step. And we just both started cracking up laughing. But again, the biggest part of trauma even is recognizing your trauma responses and understanding and connecting them back to where they came from so that you can heal those wounds and that you can then practice secure attachment and stuff like that with your own children, grandchildren, so on and so forth. Does that make sense to you guys? I totally have not been looking at chat because I have ADHD and I was just well into this. Oh, Drunk Turkey's here. Hi, Daniel. We just watched. Daniel, what are you doing up? Are you done playing Fortnite? We just watched that lady that came to your show. I showed them like not the whole thing, but it was like remember how you were talking and then eventually like you tell her things she doesn't know and stuff like that. So, but I showed them like the clip from the beginning part where she was saying about the sweater Did he ever write you back? Question. Did he ever write you back? Travis is here. What up, Travis? Oh, yeah, I'm dying to see what Daniel says. So, Daniel, we did watch enough that we all saw that you texted him. And the question would be this, Daniel, whether he has texted you back or not, do you think he would be honest with you? Because I feel like he respects you in a way that he doesn't with other people. I genuinely believe that. And anyone who thinks I'm wrong, go look at the interviews that he does with other people. And the one that he literally, like if you've ever seen Sesame Street, they have that thing, 3 of these things are doing the one thing. And it's like the one thing's doing its own thing. The DT interview is the one that's doing its own thing. And the other interviews are on the other thing. If you look at Daniel Martel's reaction and everything in all of the interviews he does, with the Drunk Turkey Show, the one with the orange shirt, he's wearing an orange shirt. In that interview, his whole, like the way he responds to DT is different. To the females, I don't know if he thinks that he's like charming them or something. I'm not really sure, but he definitely treats females differently than males in interviews, at least. Well, probably always, in my opinion, but for sure in interviews. And I didn't know if you noticed that, Daniel. Oh, Dr. Bren, I was asking what you thought of EDMR EDMR is so good. The eye movement. Oh, it's so good. It's good for more than just CPTSD. Definitely do it. Just make sure whatever you do that you go to a therapist who specializes in EMDR and not someone who just says that, like, this is the thing. If you go for a specialist, make sure that that's like their number one thing. Sometimes you'll find a therapist and they'll have 45 things that they do. I'd rather you go to a therapist that specializes in like 2, and one of them is EDMR. Janie hasn't seen my message. Oh, the sweater is real. And I reached out to Janie about who that Mackenzie guy was. And I do think we would be mostly honest. Wait, hold on. Let me go back up. Let me reread this because somebody else wrote something in it. All right, let's see. So Daniel says, the sweater is real. And I reached out to Janie about who that Mackenzie guy was. And I do think we would be mostly honest had I reached out to him. Oh, that he would have been mostly honest if you reached out to him. I do too, but I think it's because, and Janie hasn't seen your message. Did you reach out to him by chance? I wonder. Oh, and make sure you do a background check on your therapist. That was good, Tisa Day. He would be mostly honest. So this is the thing. I don't know if anybody like has seen the different interviews, but does anybody else agree that when he does, you did not reach out to Daniel? Ooh, I'm surprised he wasn't in your live, to be honest with you, like in the chat. I was telling them about how the first time I went and listened to the story about him, how we're talking and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden I see Janie in the chat and you were like, oh yeah, they come in the chat. And I was like, oh my God. But then we talked about how I didn't let that affect my thought process, but it does. It is a little bit like, you don't expect that, right? That somebody that you're reacting to is going to answer you back in the chat. They both have told me they're going to step back and haven't been in a live for a bit. Do you think they're still watching? And this is my question, Daniel. So I thought about this, and that's where we ended watching the clip with you, and that was such a good call. The whole live was awesome, you guys. Everybody, please go over to the Drunk Turkey Show and like and subscribe and watch this live that he did tonight. It was about a bunch of stuff, but it was about Summer Wells and about the Jack and Lily. But we did play that one part, and I forget what I was going to say, you guys. Oh my God. What the hell was I just going to say? I don't know. It'll come back to me. It happens sometimes. What are you going to do? Oh, about the live. I know what it was. So, Daniel, this is what I was going to say, Daniel. Do you think, because we both can agree that he definitely has an ego, right? So we both agree that he's probably narcissistic type, So that would make it really hard to not react or respond to someone that's speaking to you that you hear in the media. With that being said, even if they're not going on lives and seeking out media, I feel like there's no way they're not still listening, right? Oh, you've had to fill them in on things. Oh, wow. That's actually good. Well, I mean, good in the sense that I feel like that might help people, not having as much to respond to, because the less you do, the less there is to respond to, right? So, but I bet they watch. And they probably act like, in my opinion, like they like that you still contact them because it still gives them like an in if they need it. But this is my thing. Do you think, and I haven't said this yet, I'm just asking, it's just in my head. Do you think that they're stepping back more because something's going on? Because my thing is this. People have been telling them, or especially him, to like stop talking so much, and he hasn't been able to resist. So why now? That's my question. And I didn't think about it until a few minutes ago when we were just sitting here. But why now? Like, why didn't he stop talking 45 interviews ago? I'm being a little bit dramatic with 45, but you know what I mean. So somebody said, ding, ding, ding. Yes, definitely. So I'm not the only one that thinks that. They stepped back because Janie was legit having issues with all the hate. I'm worried for her health. She does need to go see a doctor, right? Especially because you said about the lie detector thing that they told her to go get checked, or that she might want to get that checked, and that's a shame. But at the same time, I don't know. I just feel like, why is he stepping back? Is the custody thing going on? Like, I feel like there has to be something. And again, this is just my opinion. In my opinion, DT is the only one DM will talk to. Oh, I agree with that. Especially right now. But again, I think that DT has a good way of holding him accountable and asking questions. But I do think that DM reacts the most in his interviews. For example, the tongue. Do you guys remember? After everything he said in the interview with Daniel, he was like, and you could say that he was thirsty, but all right, let's see. What else, you guys? Oh, can I just tell you the last thing? Because it is getting late and I've been on here for 2.5 hours almost. Let me tell you the last thing that I wanted to make sure I got to. So today was 12:05. Well, earlier it was 12:05, not anymore. And the case was today with the court case that we talked about with Anna Kepner. So I wanted to give you guys an update. So the judge now says that Anna Kepner's 16-year-old stepbrother is a suspect in the cruise ship death. So here goes a picture of her, and it says, excuse me, that Anna's stepmother, Chantel Hudson, which is funny, right, you guys? But not funny, ironic, because Hudson is her maiden name. And does anybody find out yet if she ever got married to Anna's dad? Because the last that we saw, we were able to find the marriage license, but not necessarily the certificate. So you know how like before you get married, like 90 days before you have to get a license, we found that paper, but I couldn't find a wedding bells paper type thing. But anyway, it says that Chantel Hudson and the woman's ex-husband, Thomas Hudson, appeared in a Florida court on Friday, December 5th, where more information was revealed about the investigation into Anna's death. The 16-year-old stepbrother of Anna Kepner is a suspect in her killing, a Florida judge said in court on Friday, December 5th, nearly a month since the beloved cheerleader was found dead aboard a Carnival Horizon cruise in the Caribbean. The Brevard County, Florida judge made the statement during a court hearing pertaining to custody issues between Anna's stepmother, Chantel Hudson, and the woman's ex-husband, Thomas Hudson. This is quotes now. The 16-year-old child is now a suspect in the death of the stepchild during the cruise, the judge said. Kepner was found dead under the bed on November 7th while aboard the Carnival cruise with her father, grandparents, stepmother, siblings, and step-siblings. She had been, and this is in quotes, mechanically asphyxiated by other person, and then it has like an S in the colon. Oh my God, I could not get that out. There's an S in the colon, so like person, persons. And then it says her death certificate said her death was ruled a homicide. Authorities have not publicly named a suspect in the case, but the 16-year-old, who's Anna's stepbrother, became suspect of the investigation soon after her death. And then it says, okay, as Anna's 16-year-old stepbrother remains under heavy scrutiny, her family has been vocal about their shock. And this is quotes, he was a normal kid, Anna's father, Christopher, previously told People in an exclusive interview about his stepson. And I would have never thought that any of this would have happened. So you guys, the dad spoke to People and said to People that this kid was a normal kid and that he would have never thought any of this could happen. What? Like, not for nothing, but he's only known this stepmom, like this woman, for like a year or so. Like, if somebody did that to my daughter. Anna's grandparents expressed some similar sentiments in an interview with ABC News with Barbara Kepner, claiming the teens were like two peas in a pod. Blech. What? When asked specifically if he believes his stepbrother killed Anna, Christopher said, I cannot say that he is responsible, but I can't decline. What? Christopher added he was the only one that was in the room, and the FBI has an ongoing investigation in which they will have to provide the evidence to say that he did do it or he did not do this. I want him to face the consequences, thank God. Christopher added, I will be fighting to make sure that that happens. Oh, thank God. So it says here, I got like confused because it said, when asked specifically if he believes the stepbrother. Oh, no, he asked. Okay, so Christopher is her dad, you guys. Christopher is Anna's dad. And Anna's dad does say, so, okay, so that makes me feel better about when he said that he didn't think that this could happen. But there you go. There goes the update. So the dad speaks. And again, he said that he wants him to face the consequences and that he'll be fighting to make sure that it does happen. Do you guys think that this is going to be like a big, like, do you think this is going to cause a problem between him and the wife? Oh, wait. Let me see what just happened. Hold on. Let me go to the side here real quick. So we have, Daniel says, I don't think anything has moved in any direction. Okay, to be honest, I talked with a few folks doing some of the searches that will happen when snow chills out, pun intended. And then April says, PBMH search, then Malaya goes to the hospital and Daniel steps back. Something's going on behind the scenes. And again, everybody's welcome here as long as everybody is respectful, and you all are. Oh, they're listening. I don't see someone with that narcissistic personality to be able to contain that. MBM, on the other hand, does not have that need. The mom, right? And then we have, in my opinion, Jack's birthday, 7 months missing, the holiday sadness, empty house. That could be some of the reasons. Addie, 1,000%. This woman had 3 children and now has none. So 1,000%. They still don't have the baby back, right? Does anybody know why? Does anyone know why? Because if the police don't think that they're a suspect, why can't they have the kids back? Isn't she staying like with her mom and stuff in a nice, like, you know, a secure place? And I don't know how it is in Canada though. Justin, are you still here? I know you're in Canada. How is it in Canada? I don't know how it is compared to the States. Like here, you could literally be the worst and they still go for child reunification. which as a psychologist would say that kids need to have that connection, especially if, that connection is there and the parents want to make that connection or have that connection, they should. But I'm just wondering why I don't know. And that's a shame because, like I said, she has to be traumatized. You have 3 kids and now you have none with you. That has to be horrible. So then it says, Drunk Turkey says, Daniel had stepped back beforehand. Daniel hasn't been in the chat for a few weeks now. From what I understand, there's a lot of hope with the document I handed over. I must have missed something, DT. You'll have to tell me which live that was. I listened to everything tonight. Maybe I missed something. Nobody has been charged yet? No. Nope. Also, Malaya is fighting the unredacted documents about their relationship coming out. The media has appealed. Oh, no way. See, that stuff I don't know that should be out there. Like, if they go out of their way to be like, can we keep this? I don't know. Let's assume, right, that there's nothing nefarious on their part. How traumatic is that now you lost all 3 kids and now they're going to release all of your personal relationship information? I don't know. I just feel like it's like one insult over another, if they have nothing to do with it. He was still in chats talking poop until the search. Okay. That is true. And then his own children claimed abuse. I want to know why Anna was put in a room with her stepbrother. Steph, so do I. Steph, not for nothing, but they could have at least done a conjoined room, right? Where like the parents were at least in the other room. But I feel like that was a lot of pressure and a lot of responsibility to put on her as the 18-year-old adult in the room. Even to have her 14-year-old brother with her, I feel like was wrong, only because now she has to like be responsible for him too. It's just, I feel like it's a lot, but I'm sure that they didn't mean anything by it as far as like, I'm sure if the dad could do it over, he would, but maybe that's like a lesson for all of us. But didn't Anna's dad have a huge age difference between him and the mother? No. Addie, ready for this one? This is what you might be. I think there was a big age difference, but not as big as with his second wife, Tabitha. Tabitha, apparently, or allegedly, was his 15-year-old babysitter. She babysat Anna. So his second wife, Tabitha, at 15, babysat Anna, allegedly. And, well, I don't even know why I'm saying allegedly, because her mother then presses charges against him for SA because she's underage. But that gets dropped. But I found the documents. Like, there are documents. It's in one of my lives. It's in the very first live that I do with Anna. And I go through that document where it's dropped, but it's still filed. And it's dropped. You want to know why? Because he marries Tabitha. And they have 2 kids. I'm like, wait, what? And then Daniel says, something happened to Daniel that's not related. Long story short, he was injured. I've known about it for weeks, but it really is his business and not related. They step back for multiple reasons. I hear you. Yeah, and they don't have to tell us everything, right? But thank you. Thank you for letting us know, and hopefully he's okay. It was a family suite. Oh, it was a family suite, but I thought that I thought the parents were in a separate room altogether. It will all come out in the wash soon. I agree with that. It's funny he sees his children being as coached or interrogating them. How about his kids being honest? Oh, so he felt like his Daniel DM felt like his kids were being interrogated when they were asked that. Absolutely, it will. Well wishes to DM and Janie. Yes, let them know that, people are thinking about them. Justin said he's going to bed. Good night, Justin. Thank you for joining. I'm going to bed in a minute too. I don't believe for a second the RCMP actually believed they're not suspects and they know a lot more than they're saying. So this is what I will say, April. Tonight, that lady came on Drunk Turkey Show and talked about that sweater. DT, was that in the documents? And if not, does that mean that they do know a lot more than we know? Do you know what I mean? And if so, what else do they know? It's a shit show up there for DM. Oh, yeah, I do need to catch up. Yes, this case is so similar to Sebastian. Oh, that case. Except that the Proudfoot and Bower socks. I'm like, come on with the names. The Proudfoot and the Bower socks. Proud Feet, I meant. The Proud Feet wear Bower socks. Huh? They have funds at their disposal and influence 1,000%. And then Daniel says, I handed over a 57-page document on where to search. Oh, okay. Yes, please email it to me. Oh, please do. It's something I worked with someone on. It's 95% of them, 5% info and input. Definitely. Definitely. I would love to see that. Oh, Clutch is in the U.S.? Is he? Why did I think he was in Canada? I don't know why I thought that. Wait, where in the U.S. is he? Is he like Southern? I feel like if he was in the U.S., he would be like a Southern belle. But I could dead be wrong. Oh, yeah, that's right. We had a great live that night. So this would be the third almost wife. Okay, wow. And then because of the way of the trailer, because she was left her mother's home. Oh, she left her mother's home? Good night, Tisa. Near Summer Wells. Yeah, I have to catch up on all of the cases. Let me go to my starred things here real quick because I am like beside myself, you guys. So we have Jamie. Oh my gosh, you gifted 5 memberships. Oh wait, is this the one I did before? Oh my God, I don't even know where I'm going. Hold on, let me go through them. You guys are so good to me, I can't. Colleen Green, thank you so much for becoming a new member and welcome. I like that thing. I could get used to that. I'm such a dork. And then what do we have? So happy. Thank you so much for being a member. You have no idea how much that support means to me. April, thank you so much for the super sticker. You have no idea how much that means to me. You guys make my whole night. I can't. Oh my God, you guys, what's happening? Dax, welcome to the family, Dax. You guys, what's happening? I can't right now. You guys, we got so many members tonight. I can't even stand it. I feel so blessed. Over Matters, we have another new member. Thank you. Thank you, you guys. You have no idea how much you guys mean to me. I got 8 like thingies and a whole bunch of memory things. So I definitely reached my goal. So this is the deal. If you are one of these fabulous people here, let me go through them again real quick. We have Cuff You. Thank you. Addie, you're the best. And then we have my Cuff You again. We have Jamie, Colleen, April, Dax, and Over Matters. You guys, right when like we're done, I'm going to hang up now or whatever. When we're done, I want you guys to write in the chat what you want me to do. That live one that I promised when I got to that, and I will do it. Justin lives in Tennessee. See, there you go. All right. Thank you all so much for being here and joining me tonight. I cannot believe how many of you came out to support me. You're so cute, Steph. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you guys subscribed. You guys, let's see how many more I need. You guys, I only need, and Daniel, maybe you can help me too. Well, you always help me, so no, you don't have to help me. You guys, I only need 33 more subscriptions to get to my goal. Please subscribe so I can make it. I just got another one. I only need 22, you guys, to get to my goal. I'm going to cry. I need 22 more people to subscribe so that I can have 4,000 subscribers. Okay, you guys. Hopefully people join in. And I will see you next time. I know. Wait, what does it say? Only 30 more. Harlot, I don't need 30 more. I need 22. That's all I need, Harlot. 22 more and I'll be at 4,000. Thank you, guys. I am so blessed to have all of you. Thank you so much. And Justin lives in Virginia. He lives in Virginia? I could go meet him someday. We'll have to go hang out. I'll go meet him and then I'll go down to Texas and I'll meet DT and Steelers fan. I'll bring them Eagles gear. Daniel loves the Eagles. He wants them to win the Super Bowl, just in case anyone wants to know. All right, you guys. I'll see you later. Thank you again for joining me tonight. I appreciate you so much. Good night. Please like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this so that I can continue to bring you content. Thank you so much.